So Ethan, thanks very much for joining us. First of all, a playoff final, the Championship playoff final, playing for a place in the Premier League. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can, I think how we started the season, there was a lot of new players and, it took a few games for us all to gel, but I think we all knew the potential that we had together as a squad. And I think throughout the season, we've had really good passages of results and bits of play. And, I think we thoroughly deserve to be where we've ended up.
Just looking back to the semi-finals and both legs, especially that second leg, they just had everything, didn't they? As games go, they were as good as you could get for playoff games.
Yeah, I think, both weren't decided until the final whistle. Obviously, in the first leg, we had to overcome the disappointment of obviously losing, and then, with the penalty and the red card, there are a lot of things that swayed the game. But we kept belief. I think we all knew going into the second game that if we played to our potential, that we got the ingredients to win the game, and we really wanted to get out of the traps really quickly. And I think after that first 15 minutes, we kind of done enough to get a foothold in the game, and we just took it on from there.
Obviously, when you lost the first leg against Swansea, you weren't necessarily going into the second leg with momentum, especially I think having looked at the last couple of results that you had of the season. Swansea certainly had the momentum. But how difficult was that for you as players going into that second leg? Or was it not difficult?
I think it was. I think we managed to deal with it better, because I think our performance in the first leg, although we didn't get the result, I think we performed a lot better than we did in the two previous games. Yeah. And I think we got over the disappointment of the Stoke loss a bit more by then. So that kind of gave us the edge, and we knew, with 11 on the pitch, we more than matched them. Obviously, going down to 10 men, that's when it got really difficult, and they kind of had us on the back foot. But we went into the game knowing that on our day, as I said before, that we were good enough to beat them. Obviously, playing them twice in the league, we got two good results where we played top games against them. So although we were behind, we went into the game knowing that we had to win. And sometimes I think having that mindset is the best mindset to have.
I was going to say, obviously you will have seen this, but Thomas Frank said in his pre-match press conference that he was 100% sure that you were going to win the game on Wednesday night. You said yourself, you had that mentality that you knew you'd win. Is that something that he said to you as players as well ahead of the game, that you were definitely going to win? And what did you make of that?
I don't think he meant it in a way that he's saying that, it's already done. Like you just have to turn up and win. He just meant that, if we do the right things, if we, play to our potential, if we start on the front foot, if we're aggressive and win our duels, then, as we've shown the talent we've had on our day, we can beat anyone in the Championship. So I think he just meant, if we do all the things on our side correctly, that we'd have too much for them, and it turned out right. And then
did that add any additional pressure onto you as a team, or is that the sort of mentality that you as a team have thrived off this season?
I think considering the two previous games, where we had chances to obviously finish in the automatics in our own hands, and then after kind of throwing that away, I think we had to reset. We had a little gathering, had a talked everything out, and I think that kind of gave us a new kind of lease of life. And we just went into that positive thinking. All our mindsets were positive. We didn't really have anything to lose. We just have everything to gain, really. And when you think about it that way, there's no reason to not go out and express yourselves whilst we're out on that pitch.
And just want to go back to when the season restarted after the break. there was still quite a gap, wasn't there, between Brentford and second place. But you came out after the restart and won 7 games in a row to put so much pressure on Leeds and West Brom. I'm not sure anyone would have expected that. I know you missed out on automatic promotion in the end, but the form that you displayed, what do you put that down to after the restart?
Well, I think it's a credit to everyone at the club, really. You know, the performance staff, the fitness staff, the medical team. You know, they made sure that when we did come back in, you know, we was doing everything we needed to get ready. We knew there was going to be a lot of games and a short turnaround, and you know, the way we trained, the intensity of the boys as well. You know, everyone worked to their maximum. We knew that obviously there was a big gap. I think it was 10 points, but we knew that if we just tried to take it game by game, you know, after getting off to a good start against Fulham, we knew game by game, if we broke it down, that we could go into each individual game with that winning mindset. You know, thinking about long term, thinking there's 8, 7, 8, 9 games to play. It's difficult to see yourself winning every one, but you know, we just broke it down, and I think, you know, as a club collectively, everyone just, it's like a family, and you know, we got ourselves in a great position and just didn't quite have enough to get over the line automatically in the end.
And at the start of the season, obviously, having finished mid-table the previous few seasons, people, it seems a long time ago, the start of the season now, but people didn't really necessarily put Brentford in the spotlight for promotion this season. Is that something that you as players preferred? And how often was promotion actually spoken about at the start of the season within the camp?
Yeah, you know, I think it is something that we possibly preferred. You know, sometimes being in the spotlight all the time can have a negative effect on teams, but you know, we try to just go about our business quietly. I think within the camp, you know, with the way everyone coming in, and you know, the way that we work, I think we all wanted, we all knew, you know, it was achievable. You know, obviously a championship's a really difficult league, but you know, the personnel we had out on the training pitch, some of the boys, you know, the quality we have in the squad, we knew that if we do things the right way, that we should be there or thereabouts. And you know, I think as the season kind of went along, we kept on growing as a team and as a club. And obviously, as you mentioned, the restart, you know, I think that was a major turning point for us. We kind of just took it to the next level in terms of our performances and the results. And, you know, we just really want to finish the job off now.
And how much of that has been down to Thomas Frank as a manager? Because he really seems to have created something special at Brentford this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it's a huge credit to Thomas, you know. He's really good with the boys, you know, making sure that we all stay as a collective unit, you know, make sure that people, players, even when you're not inside the team, you know, you recognise when you're doing things well, and, you know, pushing the boys that are starting, and, you know, showing the right attitude. And yeah, you make sure that everyone feels important, because, you know, everyone is important. Although at the end of the day, it is the 11 on the pitch. There's a lot more than what goes into that when it comes to a match day.
So I just want to go back to the start for you and talk about your career and your progression a little bit. You were released from Millwall when you were about 15 and dropped right down to sort of semi-professional regional league in the London area. As a player, being released at such a young age, was that a particularly difficult time for you, or did you always expect that you'd have to go through that process to work your way back up?
I think, you know, for any young kid, you know, it's difficult basically being told that, you know, you're not good enough. But, you know, having a good support system around me really helped, you know, my family and stuff, and being really encouraging and supporting. And I think, obviously, maintaining that self-belief. You know, obviously things are difficult at the time, but it is an opinion, and, you know, people can always have different opinions. You just got to try and prove yourself right rather than proving other people wrong. And I think going into things with that mindset, even playing in non-league, you know, once you're playing somewhere regularly and consistency, there'll always be, you know, someone watching you, and, you know, just having that belief that you can make the step up.
And you did get your move to Forest Green Rovers in 2016, who were in the National League at the time. How important was your time there from an experience point of view, and how valuable was that competitive first team experience?
Yeah, it was really valuable. The manager there, Mark Cooper, you know, he's a great manager there as well. The way he wanted us to play was really, you know, possession-based football. You know, he encouraged us to not be afraid on the ball, and to, you know, not be scared to take the ball on and, you know, make a lot of passes. And I think that's definitely helped, you know, going up the leagues where you're against better players and better teams. It's important to be able to have spells on the ball. And I think that season, you know, I played a lot of games. It was my first time playing at that standard as well. And obviously finishing the season with promotion, it was a really big boost for me, and obviously the club as a whole. But they had their first ever time in a football league after that. So yeah, that was a really positive part and moment in my career.
I was going to say, you obviously, the season finished with you appearing in a playoff final. What do you remember about that experience?
Well, yeah, I just remember one of my big memories is that Tranmere had like so many fans compared to us, because obviously Forest Green is quite a small town compared to obviously where Tranmere is. So yeah, one of my first thoughts was the difference in the amount of fans. But you know, we got together and, you know, we basically spoke about it, saying we need to start really quickly. You know, we need to make sure that we try and keep their fans as unvocal as possible. Basically, we didn't want to put them up too much and give them stuff to cheer about, and you know, we managed to do that. And yeah.
Obviously, it'll be different this time around with no fans in the ground, but having experienced the big occasion and having played in a playoff final before, how much do you think that experience will help you going into the game next week?
Yeah, I think it does help. Obviously, being familiar with the situation, and obviously having a positive outcome last time. Maybe I could kind of, you know, just chat to it with a few of the boys about it and how to go about things. But you know, it is a one-off game. You know, anything can happen on the day. So I think the biggest thing is to just try and control the things that we can control at the end of the day. And yeah, just go out there and try and do everything we can to get the result.
And obviously, after your time at Forest Green Rovers, you moved on to Barnsley to play in League One, and then worked your way up to the Championship. Is it sometimes hard for you to believe that in 4 years you've gone from non-league to the Championship and potentially even now the Premier League?
Yeah, I think more so at first. I think I've gotten used to things now. I think the first couple of years, you know, it was some of it was a bit surreal. I think going from playing in some of the places I used to play at to some of, you know, the widely recognizable stadiums, you know, was all surreal to me. But you know, I took everything on board. You know, I enjoyed every minute of it. The environments, the players that I was playing and training with and against, you know, it was all new to me, but something that you know, really inspired me to want to keep on pushing on. And you know, every year I'm just trying to do things better, take more things on board, and you know, get to as high a level as possible.
I was going to say, the Championship is one of probably the most competitive divisions in the world. It's one of the most unpredictable divisions in the world. You know, we saw that on the final day this season. How have you found the step up to the Championship this season? Clearly, it's been a season to remember, but is it what you expected?
Yeah, it is. You know, as you said, it's one of the most unpredictable leagues. You know, it's really tough to call games in this league. You know, it's a matter of small margins and small percentages. That's the difference between winning and losing games. So yeah, there has been a few surprise results along the way, but I think in the main, you know, I think over the season you kind of get what you deserve, and I think we've been really good over the season, and it has been a season to remember so far. So fingers crossed, we could just go that one more and get over the line.
And Ollie Watkins is someone who's had a similar rise to the Championship to you. He started off in League Two and has worked his way up the leagues. He's been relentless this season, hasn't he? To think that 3 years ago he was playing in League Two, now he's leading the line for you. Just how important has he been for you this season?
Yeah, he's a machine, Ollie. This is his first season playing as a central striker as well. So I think he's done exceptionally well. He works so hard. He puts in a lot of work outside and making sure that his body's ready for games. And yeah, he's an example, to younger players, forward players that want to take it to make it in the league or go up levels. The work rate during games. I think the last game he was making slide tackles on the edge of our box last game. So just a credit to himself, and yeah, done really well this season.
And just generally, notwithstanding the good defence that you've had this season compared to previous seasons, but Brentford's attacking force has been a big talking point this season. You've been absolutely lethal in attack. How difficult has it been for you as a defender training against, the front three week in, week out?
I think it's been really beneficial. We do a lot of drills where we're outnumbered and there's transitions and stuff. So yeah, there are times when it is difficult with Saeed and Brian and Ollie running at you. But I think when it comes to Saturday, when you spent the week training against players of that caliber, it's only beneficial. And throughout the season, I think in the most part we've been really solid defensively, and that's not just testament to us defenders. I think it's been a real team effort. The midfield three in front of us worked so hard. The front three worked really hard. Then obviously David in goal, he's been unbelievable. So I think it's just testament to the culture that we've built as a team this season.
And so just looking ahead to the final itself then, obviously Fulham are your opponents on the day, West London neighbours. Does that make the game a little bit more special to you as players, or do you try not to think about that?
I think naturally it does, the fact we know how much more even so it will mean for the fans, and at the end of the day, the fans are part of the club as well. So if it means more for them, we got to make it mean more for us as well. And yeah, we've played them a couple of times already, but that all goes out the window now. It's a new game, and every game is going to be completely different. So we need to make sure that we're ready for any challenge that gets thrown at us.
And finally, it's been over 70 years since Brentford were last in the top flight. You've obviously experienced promotions before with previous clubs, but what would it mean to everyone at Brentford, the fans, the players, the club, to finish this season with promotion to the Premier League?
I think it would mean, everything to them, especially, being the last season at Griffin Park. I think it will literally be the perfect send-off for everyone at the club and, the fans, as you said. So, we're really happy to be able to finish at Griffin Park with a win as well and a really good performance. So I think, just taking that one last step would make it, an unbelievable season and one for the memory bank for years to come.